Hi friends, my name is Mackenzie, also known as M to the third, and I have fallen for the Labubu hype. This is Happiness, he, him, and I thought he was looking a little cold, so I'm gonna knit him a sweater and I'm gonna show you how to knit one for yours as well. The only one I've been able to get my hands on is from the Big Into Energy set. So I think the other lines, like the Have a Seat in the Macaron, are slightly different sizes. I will be able to confirm that later. But this is for your Big Into Energy Labubu. So let's get started. For materials, I've got, of course, yarn. This is some hand spun that I made, and the colors just coordinate with him so well, I think. So I'm gonna be using that. I would recommend using a worsted weight yarn and probably like a US 4 or 5. If you are a tight knitter, just go up. You're also gonna need a needle that's a couple sizes larger than your main needle. So because I'm using a 4, I'm gonna be using a 6 just for the cast on. In the first sweater that I knit, the cast on was very tight and I could still get it on, but I think it'll be a little bit more comfortable to like pull onto their little bodies if you use a couple sizes larger just for that initial cast on row. Also helpful to have about 4 stitch markers and either some scrap yarn or a barber cord, which is just one of these hollow silicone tubes. Because we are gonna need to put the sleeve stitches on hold before coming back to them to finish it up. So yeah, that's all you need. I'm gonna put a list here so you can stop and take a screenshot so you can collect all your materials, and then let's go. Okay, so I'm starting off with my bigger needle and I am casting on 16 stitches. I'm doing the entire thing on magic loop, but use whatever small circumference method you like the best. And I'm going to join it in the round and then immediately switch to my smaller needles to knit the first round. And then you're gonna wanna knit 3. And then place your first marker, and then knit 2, place another marker, and then knit 3 more. And then for me, because I have the stitches split directly in half, I'm moving on to the next set of stitches. And I'm gonna knit 3, place another marker, knit 2, place another marker, and then knit to the end. All right, so we should have something that looks like this. And this is like the neckline of the little sweater. So we're gonna knit an increase round. So summarized, you're gonna be knitting front and back on either side of each marker and increasing 8 stitches in total. I know, hold on. So you're gonna knit to 1 stitch before the next marker. So when you have 1 stitch before your next marker, you're gonna knit that front and back. And then you're gonna slip the marker onto the other needle. And then you're gonna do knit front back 1 more time. And then because there's only 2 stitches here, you're gonna immediately go into the next knit front back, slip the marker, and knit front back again, and then knit all the way to 1 stitch before the next marker. Okay, so now we have kind of what I call like the rest breaks, where we're gonna knit just 2 rounds straight in stockinette. Okay, so now we're gonna repeat the last 3 rows. So we're gonna knit to 1 stitch before the marker, knit front back, slip the marker, knit front back again, and then knit to 1 stitch before the next marker, and then do those increases. And we're gonna do that a total of 4 times, and that's the first round, that's the increase round. And then we're gonna knit 2 rounds just straight knitting. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna knit to that first marker. And basically what this part is we're gonna take the stitches off for the sleeves and put them on hold and then come back to them later. So once you're at the marker, you're gonna take that marker off, and either your scrap yarn or your barber cord or whatever kind of cord you have to put the stitches on hold. I'm gonna slip all of the stitches in between the 2 markers, so the next 6 stitches onto the holder, and then I'm gonna remove that next marker. And then using the backwards loop cast on, you're gonna cast on 2 stitches and then knit to the next marker.
So again, you're going to knit to the next marker and then take that marker off and then slip the next 6 stitches onto whatever stitch holder that you're using. There's a close-up so you can see those 6 stitches. I'm just sliding them onto my barber cord. And then cast on 2 stitches, backwards loop, and then knit to the beginning of the round. So it's so small that it's like kind of hard to see. That is like the little raglan beginning. So both of the sleeves are on the same holder. Just because it's such a small number of stitches, it makes it a little bit easier. And next we're just gonna knit 6 rounds. So the number of stitches on the needles at this part should be 24, and we're just gonna knit 6 rounds.
So this is a surprise segment of this video that I did not expect to be doing, but I'm very excited about it. This just came in the mail. They've been so hard to find, and somehow on a TikTok live last weekend, I managed to snag one. So I'm really excited to open it because I want to make sure that all the clothes that I'm giving you patterns for will fit both the Macaron series as well as the Big Into Energy series. But also I've been wanting one of these. My number 1 pick would be soy milk, which is the little like neutral beige guy. However, I'm not picky. I'm not picky, honestly. I think it'll be really fun. Basically, like, all the colors are just really good, and it's very fun to like go through my yarn and like find something that will work for them. So yeah, let's do a little unboxing. I'm just like really excited. Okay, I'm gonna take it out. Who are you? Okay, wait, this is the next best option. The pink one. I'm pretty sure her name is Lychee Berry. Yes. So stinking cute. Okay, this is honestly probably the next best one. They're so cute. Okay, let's try on one of the sweaters and see how it fits. Pretty stinking cute. So, very, very happy with this pull. I think maybe I do like her better than Soy Milk. I don't know. Love, love, love. Okay. So, there we go. There's the new little buddy. Okay, so once you have your 6 rounds knit after separating for the sleeves, you're gonna do 1 round of purls, just 1 round of purling, and then we're going to bind off. I like to do the Icelandic bind off for that, which is knit 2, slip them back onto the left needle, knit them together, knit 1 more, slip both of those back onto the left needle, knit those together. I think it looks nice and is stretchy enough that it fits comfortably over the Labubu. The Labubu belly. So my 1 round of purling shouldn't take too long. And I also don't think, if you don't like the little bump at the edge, you definitely do not have to do the purl bump, but I just thought it was like a cute detail, so I went ahead and added it in. So I will put all of the written instructions up on the screen so that you can screenshot it and you know, use the pattern that way. But I also have a paid version of the pattern that is laid out nicely. So if you think you're gonna be making more sweaters, you can head to Ravelry or my website, link down below, and you can buy a nice copy of the pattern. It's just a few bucks. Some people like it better. It's really personal preference, but I do like to have both the tutorial available here on YouTube and also to have like a written pattern for people to be able to use. All right, and there is the body of our little sweater done. It looks a little crazy with all the cords. We've got the little sleeves here, and then the neckline and the body. So next is to pick up the sleeve stitches to knit the sleeves. So we're gonna start with 1 sleeve, and we're gonna put those 6 stitches back onto our needle that we're working with. So now it's time to knit the sleeve. These 6 sleeve stitches are still on this holder. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put them back onto the needle. There we go. And then I want to pick up 4 stitches. 1 from the side, 2 from the underarm where I cast on those 2 stitches, and then 1 from the other side. So we're gonna pick up and knit all of those stitches. Okay, so we've got 4 underarm stitches, and then we're gonna knit across the stitches on the top. And then we're gonna knit 2 together twice for those 4 stitches that we picked up. And then
knit across those top stitches again. And now we're back at like the beginning of the round, and we want to knit 2 more rows just all the way. All right, and so just like the bottom of the little sweater, we're gonna do a purl row and then we're gonna bind off, and that's it.
So you could say I'm a little obsessed. I made hand spun sweaters for each of my Labubus. I still can't believe that I pulled 2 pink ones, pinky purple ones. Peachy orange, pinky purple. They match this hand spun so well, and I am just super obsessed. But I was having so much fun that I did not stop with just the one pattern. So I also created a pattern for a true worsted weight sweater, because like I said, as I was kind of like figuring out the gauge on this one that they're wearing, I really realized it was more of an Aran weight. And when I tried to knit with like a true superwash worsted, it was a little too small and it was just stretching out more than I wanted it to. So in the pattern that I have linked down below and that I will put a QR code for here, there is instructions for how to do like an Aran weight sweater as well as like a worsted weight sweater. But there's more. I also made an overall pattern. Let me dress them up to show you that. Like, sorry, can you even deal? I used little bits of spin cycle scraps for both of these. I want a pair of spin cycle overalls is all I have to say about that. But they fit and they're so cute. And one more little piece of the puzzle. I made the tiniest little triangle shawl and it looks so cute. Like, just wrap it around and do a quick knot at the back. And then look at that. Can you even handle it? Because I cannot. So I have all of these patterns in a paid PDF. You can find it either on Ravelry or on my website. And yeah, I am just like obsessed and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for your interest in my little Labubu outfits. Look, the world is really tough, but at least we have little guys to dress up and knit for and have fun with. So I hope this brought you a little bit of joy, and I will see you next time. Bye!